Can you explain me about the Lifetime Achievement Award you got from the mining engineering?
Government of India gave me National Mineral Award, recognized for your contributions mining technology.
What is the procedure involved in finding a right mineral bodies in the earth?
AI is making it much easier to locate minerals.
Because of blasting, people feel that they are spoiling the environment extremely.
Everybody is concerned about that. Digitization has done in reducing and controlling. Accidents are reduced. We have to mine in such a way you don't want anybody to harm you.
Many climate experts are aiming to stop the mining industry. How do you see the future mining is going to be?
So mining will continue, it will never die. But it must be done in such a manner sustainable. Future generations are not harmed.
Robots can take over jobs in mining.
Robots are being applied in underground drilling and blasting.
We've seen talks about robotics, talks about automation, but I'd still say it's infancy.
Yeah, I think involving robots in the mining can really save a lot of lives. By involving all the robots in the mining industry, I think we can save more lives there. I would like you guys to join our community and wait for the inspiring video. Today's podcast is all about mining, one of the biggest industries which I'm almost passionate about. So I'm a guy, I wanted to invest in the mining from a long time where I'm not getting any opportunity. So today we have Professor Bhandari and his son Amit to explain us about more into mining. Okay, hi guys, how are you?
Good, thanks.
How you started your journey?
I graduated in mining engineering in 1966 in India, then went into master's degree in mining engineering, and then that's where my journey, real profession started in blasting. And then I, after some jobs in India in Indian mining industry, I came to Australia with a scholarship to pursue my PhD in mining engineering with the idea of doing research in blasting. And I was in one town which was very much in news in mining industry also, Broken Hill in New South Wales, and that's where BH Billiton came up, Broken Hill Proprietary, and many new technologies discovered there. And there were four underground mines, and my research started on something about mechanism and results of blasting, but it went into something computers also. Okay. So that's where my journey started in two parallel fields, blasting. And after my PhD, I went back to India, worked with explosive company. So I was explosives engineer. So research in blasting, rock mechanics, then explosives engineer. That took me around the world as well as different mines, different technologies. So practical side of blasting I learned there, and then I became professor.
Same industry, yep.
Yes, professor of mining engineering. So as a professor I have to do research and consultancy. So I continued for another 25 years, and thereafter I am into business and consulting, and developing software also is part of that.
It's been how many years?
I started in 66, graduated in 66.
40 plus almost 20, it's like 60 years experience you got. That's really impressive. So what is the procedure involved in finding a right mineral bodies in the earth?
Oh, that is exploration, first prospect that yes, there may be a mineral deposit there. The geophysical exploration, the actual proving the deposit by drilling, or nowadays other means also. And nowadays AI is making it much easier to locate minerals, and the duration has come down from 5 to 7 years. Some case studies are there. Now it is 6 months you can locate, yes, there may be economic mineral deposit there.
So it takes 5 to 6 years before?
Yes.
It was too long time.
Long time, yes.
So only government does this, or any private bodies can involve in the process and just start investing?
No, you have to get permissions from government for you exploration, and before that prospecting, and permission is given to private,
Private
in
bodies too.
Australia, mostly private. In India, it is mostly government.
Okay. Why? What makes the difference?
That has been the trend. They were on socialistic society previously, but now everything is open up. So a lot of private industry is there, but majority in mining is still government organizations.
So as you told that now AI is involved in the mining industry. Do you think that AI is making a lot of difference in compared to previously?
Yes, see, other industries AI is used in maintenance. Here also, equipment maintenance using AI is possible. Digitalization, and AI. So we ourselves are working with Australian University on blasting and AI.
Which university?
Deakin,
Oh,
close by.
okay. So how you are working with them?
I am external supervisor for one of the PhD students. 2001, when I got my permanent resident status in Australia, I came to Melbourne and went to different people who are working in blasting
Industries.
area. There I realized that since in mining rock is changing all the time, so blast designing is based on the experience of person. I said south side there will be different rock, east side there will be different rock, at the top there will be different, so I must have data. Suppose that man is gone, I must have data of the blasting. So that's how we started the software development. The data of blasting, all the parameters, explosives, and the vibrations, videos, photograph, everything, whatever is affecting. So that's where we started into this.
That's really impressive, and the experience you got is enormous. But if you take the mining industry, usually only single entity will be doing that. But you started to involve your son Amitji. So can you tell about your background, Amitji?
So look, my background is a technology person. I used to work in the IT industry here with IBM and Accenture, and I had a technology company which used to work with startups and SMEs, building tech for them, taking an innovative idea and converting it into a product. Professor Bhandari was developing mining industry related software. So whenever we had bench strength, we started developing these products. Then we got a couple of large projects in mining, and my IT services company name was Continuous Excellence. So I asked him, what should I name it? Let's do it properly. And he said, MineExcellence. So we called it MineExcellence, and that's how MineExcellence was formed. We just registered a domain. For the first couple of years, both the services side and the mining side worked in parallel. But then we realized that this is a large area, and my focus completely shifted towards the mining side of our business, please.
Can you let me explain a little more better about your project exactly?
Yes, so the name of our company is MineExcellence. MineExcellence provides technology for operational mines. So once a mine is established, then when it is hard rock, the mining companies blow it up because explosive uses the least amount of energy or is the most economical way of breaking up rock, and then the mining companies transport it. So drilling and blasting is the process where MineExcellence focuses on, and the benefits the industry has of optimizing drilling and blasting is enormous. It can result in drilling cost reduction, explosive cost reduction, safety, and downstream maintenance, secondary blasting, etc. So you could potentially save almost 5 to 7% of the operational cost of a mine on an annual basis. As soon as you look at those sort of figures, it becomes a big number. So that's how that's the case for optimizing drilling and blasting. And currently it's a technology race with 3 or 4 companies working very innovatively in this space, please.
As you told that it is blasting in the minings, there is a lot of argument in the outside the box about blasting industry. Because of blasting, people feel that they are spoiling the environment extremely. So I need a clear picture about that one. Is it really damaging the environment?
So,
I'll answer.
yes, please.
See, blasting positive effect is we have to break and then transport it. But there are a lot of environmental problems which we create. One is noise, vibration, damaging the structures and the houses. Dust is another issue, and resulting fumes. So everybody is concerned about that. Our digitization has done it has helped in reducing and controlling these negative effects,
Damaging, yep.
as well as safety. Accidents are reduced because flying rock causes a lot of damage to people who are living nearby. So we have to mine in such a way that if you are the neighbor of that mine, you don't want anybody to harm you in any way or disturb you. So digitization helps us in controlling the results of blasting.
So in the blasting industry, if you seriously consider, does Australian mining companies are taking this very seriously and following all the rules and structural things?
Yes, Australia is the leader
Oh.
in world in controlling and using technology in mining industry and including blasting industry. They are the leaders developing software, using it, and in every aspect of mining industry they are digitization, automation, everything is happening. So Australia is far ahead of
No,
other
compared to other
countries.
countries.
I'd say I think the decision making in the private sector in Australia is faster, right? You could almost go and meet somebody, you'd make a 2-page proposal, they'd okay it, and it would go ahead. The decision making in other parts of the world in terms of enabling new technology, etc., can be quite longer. The support mechanisms available here are there, but at the same time, it's innovation. So if, for example, Australia is using technology, when I look at MineExcellence, the technology platform that we have created, I would very biasedly say that our technology is much better than what many of the companies are using. They're using a desktop-based software for design. Sometimes it's used, not used, auditability is not there. Versus we've got a platform for a web-based platform, a drone-enabled platform which links with drilling rigs, explosive trucks. You can use data to optimize things further. So the innovation, while it's incremental innovation, the ability for a large enterprise to optimize drilling and blasting across their organization is much greater. But at the same time, mining industry is very geared towards the larger end of town. So it's a very conservative industry. So when I say a conservative industry, they would really like everybody else to try it before they try it out. And in the absence of it, it's one, relationship driven. Second, they'd want, so it's not uncommon if we go and say, for example, our technology is installed in coal. So they would say, it's not uncommon to say, where is it installed in coal in New South Wales? So that's a very, very specific requirement.
Yes.
Look, that's where I'd leave it at, please.
So if you compare with, I don't want to compare with any other companies while talking about your product. So what are the biggest benefits you are giving?
So look, what our innovation is, so we've focused and are the best in the drill and blast space. Typically, mining companies do have technology. They would have pieces of technology, meaning they might have a mine planning software, they might have a fleet management software, but not all of it is integrated. Our focus is on the drill and blast space. How we help a mining company is, as I said, the operational cost efficiencies, about 5 to 7% if they do drilling and blasting well. So in terms of reduction in explosive cost, drilling, secondary blasting, increased safety, and downstream reduction in maintenance, transportation costs, etc. That's the benefit to the mining company. The key differentiation is the next generation of technology, more modules, better integration. That's where I'd leave it at, right? The ability to do analysis based on the data that's available, because it's an online platform, so you can keep the data. You're getting drilling data, explosive truck data. So basically an ecosystem. That's what we do.
Okay, so you are just giving the proper data how to design the blastings and scale them in a proper way.
Yes, that's correct. So we look at the rock properties, the explosives, whatever the input parameters, and then we increase the accuracy because we're able to get survey data onto our platform. So you think about it, you can exactly match a face, then where you can result in drilling cost reduction, where you'd probably do 115 holes. Now you're just doing 110 holes.
Okay.
So 5 holes reduction in explosives and drilling costs. So that's a straight per blast you would save that much amount. Then you can get better fragmentation, etc. Those are the things, please.
And if I particularly talk about only the blasting concept, many climate experts are aiming to stop the mining industries from long back. And do you think it is essential to stop mining, or else how do you see the future mining is going to be? Because if you keep on digging the earth, one day it will become weak. So how do you exactly see that?
See, mining will be required. You need house, you need road, all the development. From where? What you grow is you eat or use for say timber. But everything else is mining, whether it is clay material, whether it is sand which you are mining, everything is needed. So mining will continue, it will never die.
Do you think
But it must be done in such a manner sustainable that future generations are not harmed. So mines, once the minerals are recovered, it must be again, closure must be such that it does not cause any damage. And it many times when you go to say Hunter Valley coal mines, you do not know that mining had taken place many years ago. It is all back to forest and land. So this is essential part. Every government is trying that mine closure is proper. Previously they used to leave the mines as it is, so acidic water will come to land and cause damage to crops, but not now. Now you have to make treatment. Say for example in blasting, in few years ago some people had to taken to clinic because of the bad fumes. Now government of Australia has spent millions of dollars to produce for research, so that explosive is produced which will not give bad fumes.
Harm to the climate.
Yes, so control that. The dust which is generated, I did research on dust movement depending on the wind direction, wind velocity, temperature, after blasting which direction it will go. So, and we try to develop system where the dust will not go into atmosphere. And now if the explosives are produced which will not give harmful fumes, oxides of nitrogen, then it will be very good thing which we are doing. We are excavating, but at the same time not harming the atmosphere. And blasting, see previously they used to be very small blasts, but now the blasting is very large, and without digitization It is not possible to control all this. We want to control the results. Say for a gold mine, you don't want to leave any gold in the mines underground. So dilution has to be stopped and nothing is to be left. You have to take out everything, whether it underground or open mines, open pit mines. I don't want to leave, but say coal, it is still can cause fire after if you are left in the atmosphere.
Oh.
So that also is not to be left. So Australia is lucky; they have huge iron ore deposits in Western Australia, and here say Broken Hill was lead and zinc, and Olympic Dam is big mine. So huge minerals are there, and lithium, you are leaders again. So that will give the battery material.
So just as an example, I heard somewhere 2 years ago, for example, with people moving away from petrol or fossil fuel to
Electric.
vehicles, the need for mining critical minerals. Somebody said, if things were to go like this, then the export bill for critical minerals would exceed the export bill for petrol for India, for example. So India exports, say, $100 billion worth of critical minerals. If the demand and the projections remain the same, so that's different type of mining, but that helps the environment. And so, look, as the world population increases, the need for minerals of different type, the format would change, but the need for mining will continue.
Which country is providing more coal mines? Largest coal mines, which country has?
US, China, and India is number 3.
Oh, India is number 3.
But coal needed for a steel, you produce in Australia, so you export. Some part we coking coal we import in India, but otherwise coal is India is number 3 at the moment.
What are the factors of coal mining in Australia given concern from the climate changes?
See, people are nowadays saying that mining is causing lot of damage to environment and living conditions. So, but mining can be done so that you don't do the damage and you leave back ground in the same condition it was there. So it can be done.
So I'll give you an example. Mostly, in barring some of the large mining companies, like drilling and blasting, for example, they still do in exactly the same way, and then they manage if there is an impact. There is an impact. Management can be by doing smaller blasts. If there is an untoward incident, then compensation may be provided to villagers or disowning the incident itself. Disowning the incident meaning it was not our fault. Compensation meaning nearby there was some vibration, so you go and give some compensation if there are cracks in their houses or something along those lines. Where there is one of the other things is as the need, as the human population increases, there are a lot of other countries where the human habitat is right adjoining the mines. So there, hence the need for doing mining a little bit intelligently, and that's what MineExcellence helps in.
How do you see AI changes the mining industry in the future?
There's a lot of talk and about AI, but the adoption has been relatively less. That's the fact.
It's not so fast.
It's not there. Like when we interact with our customers, etc. One, the different types of mining, the remote location of the mines. There are few large companies. I'd say digitization, AI is in its infancy in mining. What in other sectors like the use of chat GPT, etc., people have started adopting it. That sort of intelligence in mining will come probably, so I'd call it two areas as far as technology is concerned. One is operational mines, and the other one is what a lot of people confuse as digitization in mining, but essentially it is about digitizing general processes like finance, HR, etc. That is SAP. Even maintenance could come into that particular space. Those areas would be more likely to adopt AI faster, simply because a lot of other industries like for example, maintenance, that might be adoptable in a lot of other industries. So technology from other industries might come into mining.
Can you explain powder factor in simple terms?
Yes, it is per kg how much rock you have broken in terms of tons. It is tons, or for waste rock it is cubic meters per kg.
So what do you do with all the wastage? Where do you put those ones?
It has to be stored separately, and refilling many times is done. Many times you do not know that mining had taken place there. That waste material is kept separately.
After refilling, does really earth will get all the minerals back so it can reproduce them again?
No, you have to do replantation,
Okay.
and after few years all your local plants would be back. Local flora and fauna should be back there.
Youngster like me who wanted to go into mining industry with no experience, what do you suggest?
Now you are doing this type of job. That's where the education or skill development of people with related to mining, yes, that is one. If you really want to do this, then transportation
Okay.
and crushing and processing, all you can start as a startup.
So as a startup, what is my budget valuations?
Budget valuation, take a one truck, take a contract, start.
So I think what I'd say is the labor intensive industry is likely to be competitive, budget intensive, and very localized as well. Until and unless like it's a enterprise, like you're getting the transportation contract for BHP, etc. That's a completely different league, etc. Because then you'd have large contractors such as Thies, which is probably a similar size organization to this. But look, I think mining is not a budget that can be managed by smaller companies. So startups are rare. Australia recognizes that, and therefore there's a lot of support mechanism. So there's some support mechanism for the companies to try and interact with the industry. There are some industry bodies, and because of the size and contribution of mining to Australian GDP, that gives an opportunity for companies to work.
Does Australian government supported you a lot?
Look, Australian government in general supports research and development, and that is cross industry. So they do have some grants such as R&D grants, etc., where they encourage industry to take research and development. There's also support for exporting and in marketing of those activities. So there is some support from the Australian government, yes.
Because you already told me that you are integrating AI, and AI is also taking over the mining industry. What role does data analyst play in optimizing blasting technologies?
Look, I'll answer that one. Data analysis is relatively manual in the mining industry, and in our interaction with the industry, people so you'd have one person who's got to do the blasting. So he arranges the explosives, he's the production superintendent, and he arranges for um, the drilling, gives the blast pattern. After the blasting happens, that's where his job, he prepares for the next one. So the ability to do data analysis is a fairly specialized skill set. If you think about data analysis in blasting, for example, it would be about how accurate drilling was or how did the blast perform. That is a specialist role with somebody with that sort of technical ability, and those sort of technical people are not available everywhere. So our thinking is this entire ability to do blast analysis, etc., is something that can be outsourced, though we haven't seen adoption of this particular service very widely in the industry, because people just go back um, to their old way of behavior, and they say is, look, their thought processes which save, look, drilling and blasting is just 10 to 20% of my operational cost. If I save, I'll save just on explosives, and that's just a very small percentage of the overall cost. What most mining engineers understand but don't know how to do is, or mining management does not realize, is that by optimizing the drilling and blasting, there's a significant flow on impact. So to answer your question, how is data analysis in this particular space? Again, in its infancy, and there is a strong use case of doing the entire blast design, entire drilling analysis, entire post-blast analysis, including fragmentation from an offsite, and giving the results to the mining company.
See, the data analysis you will use, thereafter you use machine learning and then optimize the results. I want this result, so how do I design? Based on the results which you have got, there are different ways. One is prediction. A prediction may be different than the actual results. So you target a particular size of fragmentation, you predict that this would be the, if I use this design, this would be my fragment size, and actually then you compare, and then from that you learn, you train the data and train and then get the results. So we are working on that machine learning applications. At the moment, all the predictions are more academic than actual field situation.
Okay.
And what really is required is for the mining company to come on board, right? So there are a lot more factors there, and what I've seen is the mining executives. When I say the mining executive, a large mining company, the head of mining, you may be surprised that sometimes they're not even mining guys, and they look at AI optimization, etc. They say, if there is some problem in interpretation, I'll be in trouble. Let things continue. Why would I like try and save 5% or something along those lines? I know it's saving, but I could probably, as long as the mineral is produced, it's okay.
See what happened many years ago. There was one managing director of Rio Tinto.
Okay.
He came from auto industry. He was managing director in auto industry, car production. So he started applying all the robots and all this automation in the manufacture and assembly of cars in mining. So in Perth, they have their center, and they are controlling what is happening, drilling and blasting and mine planning and transportation were 700 kilometers away. So that has started in Australia, actually, automation and sensors. Everywhere now you have sensors, you have automation in the car, Tesla. You don't have collisions. So mining, so much transportation takes place, sensors are there, no collision, no accidents. So already those type of applications are already there. And now in many fields, it is gradually part by part, it is coming. And I think in 5 years' time, more automation
will
will
come
be
place
there.
will come in place. So really robots can take over jobs in mining?
Yes,
Seriously?
yes.
How?
See, in such cases, say Tasmania, there was a case. Drilling is done from a distance because people cannot go to that place, but drilling and blasting did take place from a distance. So, robots are being applied in underground drilling and blasting in Sweden.
So look, I'd say there'd be pockets where automation will come about, like very publicized autonomous drilling. A large mining company, Rio Tinto, it's very much in public domain that they've gone for autonomous drilling. But there are very large number of mines where there's like just you go back to the
Old
same
class.
old style, right? And that's globally the case. The and just having interacted with mining companies here in Australia, they also realize it's a slow, many-year journey. It's not like there's no a magic wand which would automatically do it for them. And then there's commercial constraints, there's practical constraints. So that's where I think holistically means I'd still say that there are pockets of innovation and digitization for the mining industry, but there is so much variation in different geographies, the remote nature of it, the lack of very good skilled people, and the industry being very conservative. I'd say the technology innovation in this space is very much in its infancy.
Yeah, I think involving robots in the mining can really save a lot of lives, because from India we can hear from the news saying that this mining has been stuck and it has been people has been stuck underground for 2 days, 3 days. By involving all the robots in the mining industry, I think we can save more lives there.
Look, I think we've seen talks about robotics, talks about automation, but I'd still say it's in its infancy. When I say in its infancy, there are like probably if one or two possible processes out of 100-step process that is more digitized or more automated or more where there's a possibility of removing human intervention, then it's done. Because like for example operatorless fleet, etc., that's definitely happening. Look, that's where I'd leave it at.
See, you are planning to do mining on the moon. Yes, you have to do it from here.
Yes,
It's all the robots.
goes there.
They
Yep.
they will be doing the job. And there are some mines where many operations are all from the surface.
Okay.
The robots are breaking rock underground. It's being done
Okay.
at the crusher. Everything is controlled from the surface, and wherever human intervention is needed, that's minimum.
So look, I just tell you like in percentage terms and to put it into perspective. For example, if there were 100 underground mines, 2 or 3 might get into an advanced stage of automation.
Okay.
That's where I'd leave it at. So if you've got 100 underground mines, why? Because private enterprises are running these mining companies, and their core job is the more I invest in technology, the bigger the investment becomes. So it's a financial constraint. And if I can spend 100 and extract $150 worth of ore, which is converted into dollars, then they're okay with it. So it's an evolving space is what I would say, please.
Do you guys really think, is there any minerals underrated now? In the future they can take over the mining industries?
That's like the stock market basically, right? So I'll give you an example. The critical minerals, about 3 years ago, that was the thing, that critical minerals would be the thing. Now, one or two minerals, there's been a glut, an oversupply, because multiple mines have come on board and they're producing it. And so most minerals go through this curve of supply and demand, just like any other thing in the world.
What are the benefits for the customers from the MineExcellence?
Look, MineExcellence provides technology for operational mines around drill and blast. The mining company can save in terms of explosive cost, drilling cost, secondary blasting, lower maintenance, better fragmentation. So the commercial benefits of doing drilling and blasting is significant. There's also the fact that if they do it safely and environmentally friendly, therefore there is a reputational impact. All of that, when I say reputational impact, there's no protest from the people,
yeah.
there's no vibrations that impact it, so the negative impact of mining might be reduced, and their employees may also be safer, etc. Right? So that's the benefit to the customer. Just similar to, there's a lot of hard work in terms of finding a mineral. Similarly, to get to that space where you can practically do drilling and blasting safely and efficiently, there's a bit of work involved in it. And therefore, for example, in our technology, companies that have an appetite for digitization and a culture for digitization, those are the most appropriate companies. So you need to identify a company that is willing to try the technology out, that has the financial muscle to pay for the technology, and that has a culture of appreciation for this. That's where I'd leave it at.
Yes. Just now you mentioned about the secondary blasting. Can you explain me a bit more about that one?
So look, as an outcome of blasting, if there is large size rocks, then it's very hard to transport them, and then you have to break them up. So you might be able to explain this further.
See, secondary blasting is, the main blast is the production blast, or for removal of huge quantity of rock. But the results are not good, and you get large boulders. They have to be broken again with the use of either small explosives, drilled again small quantity of explosives, or by other means, mechanical means, through hammer or through rock breaker, which does not use explosive. So that is called secondary breaking. And if it is done by blasting, then it is secondary blasting.
Okay. So usually in the span of like frequency, how many blastings will be planned?
Depends on the requirement.
Okay.
Per year, how much 10 million tons of coal have to produce, or 1 million ton, or limestone or aggregate quarry. So normally aggregate used to be small blasts, but in Australia I have attended some blasts where they do only once in a 6 month.
Okay.
And they keep on producing according to the requirement.
So
Similarly, the largest coal mine in India, about 10 million tons per year, our software is being used to design blasts, execute blasts, survey, after blast results, all are done. So there may be 5 to 10% boulders. So our aim is to reduce that. Say in gold or copper, you have to crush that rock again. Crushing is an important operation. Here in coal, you don't do that normally. So no boulders must be there. What I desire must be produced. Okay.
So basically the purpose of blasting is to break the rock up. If you get big rocks, then you can't transport them, so you have to break them again. That's called secondary blasting.
Okay. So, as Bandari, you told me that there's like 10 million, 20 million tons of extraction. Who decides this one? Does the government give you any initiatives on that? Or like,
Is approved for a certain, there is an estimation as to this is how much mineral is. Now, if you exceed that estimation, then it's your good luck, but you have to take certain permissions, communicate the desire to uh, bring out more mineral, and different jurisdictions would have different policies. In some places it would be allowed that you can extract more. In other places you have to communicate, get approvals, and then you can extract.
okay, why? What is the reason? What is the purpose of? Because you already told that in some regions only it is mentioned that you need to estimate and then have a conversation to take the permission. Why? Because why are other mines does not need to take any permissions?
So different countries have different rules around mining, and that is what governs these rules. And these rules themselves go through changes. For example, exploration in most parts of the world is very widely encouraged that the private sector undertakes it, but in certain jurisdictions, countries think that the mineral is our property and therefore the government does more of it.
See what happens, everywhere you cannot produce what you want. There is a limit for the deposit. This size is, say small deposit is there, I'll produce less. Say if everybody wants 10 million tons, my deposit will not allow. And my resources, equipment, my capacity of investment, all are required, and market. You have to look at the market also. So mine planning, and those are all commercial decisions. After mine planning, mine plan can be planned, but deposit must allow it
To do it.
do it.
Yes. As yeah, you mentioned that you need to do two blastings for secondary blasting for to break the bigger size of stones. So, what are the major challenges in transporting and loading them, and how you overcome them?
I want to do transportation in economical way, so I need to spend less on fuels. So I have to manage. The waiting time is not to be there. Say excavator, shovels, they can load certain value. If I have got more trucks, everybody will be waiting till one truck is filled and has moved. So that has to be fleet management also to be there. Transportation is an important. If you have the large boulders, the fill factor of the trucks will be less. I cannot load so much. The big stones will be thrown, so my equipment, the trucks will be damaged more, maintenance cost will be more. So it is entire process from mine to mill has to be optimized. The blasting results, on the one side you have to stop accidents, environmental hazards, other side movement and the size of fragmentation has to be such that my transportation cost is reduced, my crushing cost is reduced, and then how much you are unnecessarily breaking rock which is not required to be broken, overbreak, and dilution in important minerals like copper or metalliferous minerals. That is another issue. So it is mine to mill, and Australia is leader in mine to mill optimization. Much research has been done in different mines, and they are doing this for last 25 years or more.
Okay. So, coming to the rocks, what are the geographical technical characters of a rock?
Geotechnical properties are density, strength, that is compressive strength, tensile strength, and the structure, joints between different parts of the rock. Say second, sedimentary deposits, they will have layers, and it may be vertical, it may be very wide. So those all have to be taken into consideration, both at the stage of designing a blast, that hard rock like granite,
You need to make it.
It is different. My drilling speed will be different. My explosive has to be stronger, more closer spacing, whereas coal is easier, lesser density. Drilling is easier, at higher rate it will be done. So geotechnical properties affect drilling and blasting, the support and the slope stability. Everywhere, that's why that's the difference between mining and construction factory. Everywhere rock is changing. So the geotechnical parameters are important to understand.
So every industry in mining uses blasting. There is no other there is no other
No, no,
subsequent
no,
without
no, no.
using blasting.
There are say lignite. Lignite mining you don't do blasting.
Blastings, okay.
Lignite is very soft, so the equipment is available, bucket wheel excavators, or even in coal, in Australian coal mines, blasting in underground coal mines is not much. It is the continuous miners. Machines cut coal.
In the blasting software, how does it evolve in the future?
So, so currently, like if you look at when we started our technology, our innovation was it would be a web-based solution. When we started, there were a number of legacy products. Mine planning companies would have a basic blast design product, and they were very detailed mine planning packages, and then the same architecture would apply to their desktop-based blast design packages. Now, even if we look at our evolvement, we had a web-based 2D blast design. 2D is the visualization of the whole is in 2 dimensions. Then we've created a 3D blast design package which can import any survey data, so drone data or any other data. And we've used our blast data to give suggestions. So increasingly it would get towards automation, and in complete automation in blast design, where it would give the number of holes, i.e. the drill design, the charging, the delay timings, all of this is possible to the software to suggest what to do, and the inputs may be outcomes of previous blasts as well as the desired outcome from blasting.
Coming to the Minex company, to how many international mining companies is it serving?
So we are currently installed in 10 countries, and these may be small drill and blast contractors to mid-sized mining companies to large, some of the large global mining companies as an enterprise platform across one system across all of their sites.
Okay. How is the process going on?
So we've got good adoption in certain geographies. Mining is a conservative industry. We strongly feel that we are really disrupting this space. Creation of good quality products takes a long time in this space. So initially we had a blast data module, then we had a blast design module, we have a 3D blast design module, we have apps for data collection in the field, drilling accuracy we've integrated with explosive trucks, drill rigs. Now we've got a similar platform in underground as well. So in underground, it's a complete revolution because underground accessibility is much harder, you can't see. So we've integrated with mine plans, survey, and survey may be a scanner similar to a mounted scanner that surveys the whole place, or you could have drone in inaccessible places and that survey can come in. And in underground there are stopes, for example, so it's a large area, so we've got solutions for calculating the total outcome of blasting. So suppose the amount of the stope, that stope recovery, and then optimizing stope recovery, how you could improve stope recovery. So that's direct commercial benefits to a mining company. So to answer your question, the entire place is evolving in terms of accuracy, predictability, and integration, and the analysis. So those are the 4 caveats, the 4 areas that I see um, things moving towards, please.
That's good. But comparatively, if you use the technology more in the blasting area, I think sometimes it can't be done faster, as you told before, because sometimes you need manual brain to think faster than robots, because robot needs some certain period of time to analyze the things, then it will take a decision. But as a human brain, we will spontaneously take a decision. So,
So that's a great question, and this is very well seen. The best mining companies have the best brains in terms of people with experience, and those people experts are quite expensive, and it's not possible for those very limited few number of experts to be everywhere. Technology has the ability of making that expert available at multiple places, meaning if you can have the 2 or 3 blast design experts sitting from offshore, they're looking at the survey file, they're giving a blast design to the site team does the analysis, okay, and then they do the blast, and then they just take some photographs or some videos. The offsite team does the entire analysis with specific experts. And if you're doing it, so it may not be possible for one offsite expert for one mine, but if you have 6 or 7 mines or one large 2 or 3 large mines, then you can, so the accuracy and predictability of that entire activity increases. So I see this entire area moving, as I said, towards more integration, more accuracy and predictability in drill and blast, and better analysis.
I just want to know more about you, both of them. How did you integrate your technology and your softwares together?
As a customer, what I would need, or customer tells us this is what is required, then the research is done by the company employees or researchers. They find out these are the various alternatives for this. That's how it works, evolves. As people use the software, they say that yes, we want this thing also to be added.
Okay.
Say the design must go to the drill machine. So they have to find a way and develop the way that it goes to that machine.
Being like a business partners or just, being like father and son?
No, nowadays he is looking after mostly.
Okay.
Dad, he's very supportive. Um, he does a lot of social work as well. So he's always online. So he's involved in 2 3 ventures, but blasting is his passion. And in our company, we say whenever we get stuck on technical aspects, we still go to him. Many of the uh, the employees in the company are his students, so there's a lot of respect. Um, uh, when we go out in the industry, people still know about him. And for me, one of the big things was recently he got a National Mineral Award, and or about a year ago, and and it was on social media, and 2 or 3 people from different geographies, say Russia, Indonesia, they wrote, "This is the best book in mining ever." So, an unknown person whom nobody knows to get that sort of a comment, that is his legacy basically, right? So, that is to me, before I got involved in mining, I did not know about that. So, he's very supportive. He's still dad, so he has uh, still has a temper as well. So that is always there, and that will always be there. But in general, his students really are very appreciative of him, and um, that's where I'd leave it at. And usually, it's been said that family-led businesses are hard, but we haven't found that at all, right? It's been more as we've evolved from a startup to a scale-up. There are cash flow or commercial issues, and especially mining industry and the geographies that we are working in is there are challenges in terms of them paying on time, which causes us a lot of grief. and it's a very capital intensive industry that has put pressure on us, significant pressure. And also the fact that our core area of focus is in drill and blast. And you've got a conservative industry. Within that industry, you've got drill and blast, like blasting boom. So companies would really need to identify a company as a very credible source before they invest in anything. So that has its own challenges, but overall, his domain expertise, my technology skill set, the agility to to really technologically innovate very, very quickly. We anticipated that many of his students would go in, who are in the industry and are industry leaders, that they would help us, but that did not happen. That like the personal connect, etc., is there, but does it result in any? So we've gone based on product strength and being pretty much the best that we are in this space in a way, right? So one important thing to understand is the industry is looking for, it's in absolute infancy in terms of digitization. Now they're looking for transformative innovation, somebody that would come and automatically do drill and blast. Nothing like this exists. There's incremental innovation, meaning a little bit of a change, like so, and sometimes it's very hard to digest that for the industry. So look, I've digressed from the original question, but the bottom line is we've worked with domain expertise and technology expertise and project management and commercial expertise, and it's been a hard journey, but we've persisted.
Being into mining industry, you need huge investments. So how did you figure out that your investments?
You can call us like a cockroach startup. That's the
Cockroach
word.
startup.
I heard that word somewhere. That who finds a way of
To figure out things.
figuring things out, and because our background was in terms of looking at working in the product development space, in the innovative space, we were able to do it, please.
I think you have one more son. Is he still in the same business or he's doing something else?
Huh?
I think you have got one more son. Yeah.
Yes.
Is he still in your business or he's dealing with other?
He is a mining engineer.
Oh, everybody is into mining. Whole family is into mining.
Now he has come to mining.
Okay.
Only
I'm
last-
not a mining engineer. I'm more, my expertise was as in the technology services
Software, yeah.
industry, in consulting in Accenture and IBM in Australia. But then fate would have it that I've come into the technology space.
He was born in Broken Hill, and then he did his masters in Melbourne Uni, and then went into IT area. After 15 years, he thought he will start his own business, and that's how it started.
You completed your PhD in
New South Wales.
New South Wales in 1970s.
76.
76. I want to know how does Australia look like at that point. Yeah, seriously.
The basic, the technology wise, things have changed. I used to live in a small place, Broken Hill, 30,000 population, and we were 5 Indians. Okay, we used to get food from Sydney.
Okay.
Now everywhere immigrants have come from different countries here, so it is more multicultural
Country.
society.
Yeah, society. Okay.
And though Australians have always been very helpful, very good, I have friends in Australia for last 25-50 years, and we are still in touch.
Have you ever felt India is the best place, not Australia?
No, Australia, I like it. There is no complaint, absolutely no complaint from any angle. And
It's like
it's I have to start from scratch for my social connections. So this is second home. Australia is second
Second
home.
now.
We do spend time here also. And for me, my laptop or connections, which is now easy, was always there.
Compared
I
to
never
before, yeah.
felt uneasy here.
Because I have seen many people like citizens who are about 65, they leave Australia, who are like brought up and born up in India, although they migrated here for like ages. When they're like 65, 70, they'll go back to the India and just, they want to stay there.
See, reason is there you have support for everything. You don't have to do any work at home. There is support available, and since we stay in the same place where we were born and brought up, so and relations are all there, so social activities are many, and others also. Professionally, there also we are easy. Here there is absolutely no problem. Even professionally, we can go to any place. For seniors, there are a lot of facilities here. There is absolutely no issue here. But just, especially for my wife, it becomes
Little bit
little
harder.
hard.
Okay. So that is the reason you want to go back to India.
Yes, we have maintained continuous. Every year we spend few months here.
Here and there. Amit, you want to go back to India after 60s?
Look, because of my work, I have a team based out of India. Some of our customers are there, so the connect is quite frequent. And nowadays, it's possible to have frequent travel, and that's where I'd leave it at, right? So I haven't made any decision at. You reconsider, just like employment, people reconsider at that point in time whether it works for them. Same goes for your decision about where is the most convenient place at any given point in time.
Education wise, doing PhD in 1970s is same as right now in Australia.
Now it is easy.
Seriously? It's so hard at that time?
To get your research information, analyze. See, when I was working for my computer work, I used to punch cards and send it to Sydney in 1975 to Kensington, New South Wales University, and it used to take 2 days to get results even in that place.
Okay.
Using the best computers available. Second thing, the difference is that there was no photocopying facilities or internet things available, no Google. So everything we used to request, and if anywhere in available in Australia, we used to get the book or the photocopy. So that in India, that functionality was not there. We had to note down everything by hand,
Manual.
in library.
So doing research at that point, right now it's easy to get access for every research paper
Yes.
in the internet. But how do you research? So you will not have a particular data on your hands. So how do you research
Yes,
about the product?
see, in our field, getting data is difficult here, because everywhere there is secrecy agreement. You don't get data. But still, if companies work together and universities work together or innovator works together, there is always understanding and data is available.
Can you explain me about the lifetime achievement award you got from the mining engineering?
Mining Engineering Association of India gives awards based on your contributions to the profession for lifelong. So they selected me for giving this award. Important was Government of India gave me National Mineral Award, which is recognized for your contributions to mining technology, and that was given about 15 years ago for what I had done for the industry
Service you have given for.
based on my research and applications, because I am basically applied researcher. How it can be used in the industry. Say you had asked about data. Now we are working with Deakin University, that PhD students is doing machine vision. From the photographs he will be able to identify what we do by survey. So drone will give the photograph, and from that after drilling we are able to recognize the colors of hole, so we don't have to do again go and do survey.
Okay.
So see, basically being a researcher, I always think what can be requirement of the industry, and then the technology from other fields you adopt here. Say dust. When I started doing this dust research, somebody came to me that from defense, he had retired, he wanted to do research in the university, and he said if bomb blast is there, bomb is there, chemical warfare is there, the platoon has to be moved, we want to predict. I said wait a minute, similar thing is situation in blasting, and no research had been done on that subject earlier. So we were the pioneers in developing software where we can predict that if there is a blast, which direction the wind will be there, which side our fumes and dust will go, so people are not harmed. So here in Australia, when I visited coal mines, board is there, if wind in this direction, this velocity, don't blast. So
Okay.
people here take care, and we have to predict for everywhere, and they are very much involved depending on the temperature of atmosphere, the wind velocity, so many factors. And in Melbourne there is my friend has a consultancy company, Hunter Valley. If this is the wind direction, they will ask whether we should blast today or not. And then he says yes, you can blast today at this time. So 24-hour recording of the data is there, and they are able to predict. So that's the next thing which we'll have to include in our software.
Okay.
Machine vision, dust and fumes, we have to control so that mining causes minimum disturbance to the society, atmosphere, environment.
Okay. Does really prediction works in the matter of creating data and taking a decision?
Yes, based on data. See, there is one is target, one is prediction, and one is actual. So actual versus prediction, you have to calculate and then make corrections in your design.
Okay.
And second thing is, this software, you can have accident in the software, in the computer, but not at the site. So this prediction helps us to have more safety.
Okay.
And also this software data helps in keeping a record. Say many times, say blasting is taking place in a quarry in Geelong. 11 kilometers away, a lady complained that I am getting my disturbance.
Okay.
Then if data is there, the people who are maintaining this consultant, they maintain that there was no blast on that day.
Okay.
See, that's what in mind of people, that mining is causing disturbance.
Okay. Assumptions.
Assumption. But
Okay.
it may not be there. So keeping record is legally very helpful to people.
So, what are the main benefits of using MineExcellence in blasting softwares?
Yes, this is what I told, that optimization, reduction of cost, economics, your safety, your records, and based on that, if you don't have data, you will not be able to apply the new technology,
Yes.
AI, machine learning, machine vision. Without that, you will not be able to do it. So this is the benefit, and this is how people have saved so much money. We have to change parameters. In computer, I can change and see, provided I make the corrections. Actual and there will be a difference.
Okay.
Designed and actual will be, there will be difference, but that once I know that this much is the variation, I can design and optimize in the mind, and data of the transportation, data of crushing, everything should be known to me.
Yep.
Then
So-
I can optimize.
Yep. So, what makes MineExcellence blasting app more unique than other ones?
It's integrated with our platform. It's available in an offline mode. The entire blast design software is available in the field itself. Um, it enables to a mining company. It helps in saving time for the operators. They're able to do the design then and there. They can give the data to the drilling rig. They can capture the data in the field and do potential analysis. So it's an offline app that synchronizes with the web.
So, how does MineExcellence solution reduce the operations in mining?
It helps in improving drill and blast costs, overall mining operational cost, improving safety, and it's a step towards digitization and automation.
And have you faced any technology or any adoption issues while integrating blasting software?
Look, we've implemented our technology at a lot of tier 1 mining companies. The challenge is on multiple levels. The challenge is in can be in the adoption. The challenge can be in value realization. The challenge can be in implementation. The challenge can be in culture and people. All of those aspects. So if I were to explain what are the challenges that a mining company has in adoption of digitization. So in spite of technology being available, it's still in pockets. People still go back to the same thing. So you have to have realistic expectation as to what the benefits would be and what would be my journey in order to get to that benefits. Then once the technology is implemented, having a realistic expectation of what the technology would be deliver, what the next phases for this would be, all of this is expectations from the technology. So mining companies find themselves at the infancy in digitization because they don't have realistic expectations, meaning their expectation is it would be automatically digitized. The people who are capable of technology adoption are few, meaning an experienced mining engineer might not be that computer literate, therefore, or technology savvy, therefore that interaction is there. And change management, meaning people are quite comfortable, it's working this way, why should I change, my role will change. There are unknown forces in there as well that um, um, and it's a hard thing to say, but in a few geographies, people are not incentivized to use lesser explosive. It's a relationship between the explosive supplier and the mining company operators, which they say, look, let
Yes.
things go, and that's a global challenge because think about it, explosive gets poured into the holes, and once it's gone. Nobody, there's very hard to do auditability, etc. Technology would increase auditability, it would improve efficiency, it would improve transparency, etc.
So, what is the vision of MineExcellence?
So MineExcellence wants to be a technology leader in the drill and blast space for both surface and underground. We have created and have proven as a technology which is an interface between survey, mine planning and drill and blast and post-blast analysis. So a continuous improvement loop can be established as an enterprise platform. So suppose a mining company has 6 or 7 different sites, you can adopt one online platform where your design is there, your data is there, it's linked with different systems. So the, the, the ability of a mining company to get it adopted is there. The vision is to be a technology leader in the drill and blast space, to provide both services and services and implementation, and being a global leader in the drill and blast space is what we want. We initially, when we started a platform, we looked at safety platforms, etc. But then we realized that being the best in one space is much better than being a broader um, uh, uh, solution provider.
Okay. So why so for every companies, why is it so hard to cope up with the technology, all the mining companies?
So that's a very good question, and it's related with change management, the people, the expected budgets, and technology adoption. So mining companies are very similar to any other company. The people move, they're people with different calibers, their expectation of technology is different. The core thing that is required is a leadership and a vision from the mining company itself. They have to realize, okay, this is how much, what the technology implementation and phasing would be. It requires people who can drive, whether it is from within the mining company or external to the mining company, who give a vision. So I'd say leadership, vision, then implementation of the technology, and taking organizations on that journey. So effectively, like if, for example, um, the revenue of a mining company is say $10 billion, and annually, and you're looking at operational efficiency of say um, 5 to 10%. So you're looking at savings of $500 million or something along those lines. If that is the case, then the project needs to be of that size, with that sort of a vision, with that sort of a leadership attention, etc. So the number one reason for failure in mining companies, why they find it challenging, is leadership, change management, realistic expectations, and the technology itself. So not having realistic expectation of what that journey would look like, and I've seen this in organizations in Canada, I've seen this in organizations in India, I've seen this in organizations in South Africa, where they've said they are technology very innovative, but they attempt one or two steps and they stop. So that's the core thing. You see that in other industries as well, SAP implementations, etc. But you implement SAP, it starts working, you call it a success. That's not been done in the coal mining areas, because why SAP is done is SAP is across, or an ERP implementation is across so many industries, they're doing implementation. So you learn from one industry, then that expectation is set. In the operational mining side, meaning operational mining side is, one, there is a lot of variation, surface, underground, different commodities, different size of the mines, etc. There's very limited adoption of technology and very successful implementations. When a company comes up and says, we have been successfully adopted, that is what.
Because many companies are not accepting the changes, does mining excellency is feeling hard to cope up with the companies?
Yes, look, that is the case, where you can know almost at the very beginning that what is the culture of the company, is it likely to succeed, not likely to succeed. So we see two challenges. Where there is a culture of adoption and innovation, there you have to be the best, because all the best mining technology providers would aim to go to them. And where there's a culture of um, lack or resistance to change, or too bureaucratic, or too committee based, then it is virtually impossible to attempt it successfully. So culture is paramount, leadership is paramount.
So, okay, let's take the leadership quality. So, how is Mine Excellence concentrated on each and every company individually to crack their deals?
That's very good, right? So it is like B2B sales and complex, very complex B2B sales. So when I say very complex B2B sales, that means you almost have to get the C-suite aligned, then the operational guys aligned, the mining management aligned before you get a sale in this. And they're limited providers. So positioning yourself, look, MineExcellence is rated by IDC in the leadership quadrant in drill and blast. So having references such as those have been would really helpful. But when you're competing against companies who have a $10 billion worth of revenue, then we've seen many times as a young provider, the senior executives from the larger mining companies, larger service providers, they would have a relationship at a different level. So in spite of verbally being given the deal, it stopped for us. So we've learned from those experiences and learned to fight back. But still, it's a very hard business. And sometimes we feel that if we had probably put this much of effort in the IT industry, probably the scale at which the company would be would be very different. But where there's hope, there is, and I think innovating, like our underground product line, where there's an absolute necessity to integrate survey, mine plan, because it's an inaccessible space. So that's a new product line that we have recently launched. And so in the underground space, for example, linking survey, mine plan, blast design, blast data management, post-blast analysis, and stope recovery assessment is a new innovation. And we aim to go to the industry with QA/QC services. We've had some successes in this space already. Summarizing it, we are in the complex B2B sales. That's not easy as a small organization. So using every possible avenue of building credibility of the founders, the team, is essential.
Yes, it's really very impressive to listen. And okay, if you predict next 5 years, what is the valuation of your company? What do you what do you just give a number?
So look, I feel if we continue the way we are continuing with some strong project wins, we would like to value the company between $20 to $50 million within the next 2 to 5 years. Now, a lot of this has a little bit of ifs and buts. When I say ifs and buts, our company, because of the dependency on large mining companies, is very deal dependent, as would every other company be. So one larger deal suddenly significantly increases our revenue and therefore significantly increases our valuation. So look, I see us as an innovation leader in the drill and blast space. It's an innovation race where I think most of the other providers have fallen down. It's now between a couple of large explosive providers and us, and whoever gets the customer and the deal gets an opportunity to innovate further and move further.
That's really impressive. I got a lot of information from you. If somebody wanted to start mining, business, or they wanted to enter into this business, literally your information helps them a lot.
Yes.
Thanks for your days. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.